Well, welcome back to the shop and to the channel. I have quite a few things I'd like to share with you in this episode of Odds and Ends, so let's jump right into it. We got some new channel stickers in that we can add to the sticker board. First one here is from Joe Piezinski, known as Joe Pie from Advanced Innovations down in Texas. He is a master machinist, and lately he's been building a lot of scale model machine tools like a small lathe, and he's working on a shaper right now. AB Shop is run by Alberto. He's in Italy and has a very nice hobby machine shop and has a lot of nice projects. He's very innovative in some of the things that he's been able to make. Got the sticker here from Gary at Old Iron Machine Works. Gary has some pretty nice sized machines in his home shop, but does some machine work for his day job as well, working on some pretty heavy machinery. Let's Weld Something is more Instagram than YouTube right now. It is being run or hosted by Bob Moffett, who was front and center on Weld.com for many years. Big fan of Bob's. I was disappointed to see when he was no longer on Weld.com, so I'm looking forward to seeing him create some new content with this new label. This is from Bear's Rod Shop down in Texas. Bear has a home shop where he's got a Laban lathe and some other machine tools, works on hot rods from time to time. Bear seems like he's a really good guy. Some sad news recently, lost his wife to cancer, so go down and check out Bear's channel. He puts out quite a bit of good content. There's the sticker from Winter's Machine Shop. Shane is in Pennsylvania and has a pretty sizable collection of vintage machine tools, including a nice big K&T horizontal mill. I think he has just about every accessory that was offered on it. He recently did some videos on how he made a helical gear for his Walker Turner bandsaw. So the process and the math that he went through in calculating how to make that gear was a bit over my head, but fascinating. If you're into watching machining videos, you'd have to be under a rock not to know about Curtis and Karen from Cutting Edge Engineering. Curtis works on some pretty massive machines, does a lot of repair with heavy machinery in the mining industry. Very interesting, very enigmatic personality, and I do like the way he explains what he's doing, and the outtakes at the end of their videos are a lot of fun to watch. If you'd like to get your sticker added to this wall, or if you'd like one of my stickers, just drop me an email. Email's in the description of the video. You don't even have to have a YouTube channel. If you'd like one of my stickers, send me an email and I'd be glad to mail you one. I was watching one of Adam Booth's videos and I could tell he had something similar to this attached to the edge of the table on his new KBC milling machine. I liked the idea, so I drew something up in Fusion 360 and 3D printed it. I designed it in two pieces. There's the tray that's on top, and then there's this bracket that attaches to the edge of the mill table. I've got these little threaded inserts that I heat up with a soldering iron that melted into the piece so that I could screw the two together. So here I'm just using my soldering iron to get that brass piece hot enough to start melting the ABS plastic, and then just to get it just a little bit below the surface of the piece. I put this steel block on the top of it just to keep it from heaving up as it cools. Then I use these countersink screws to go ahead and attach the tray to the bracket. I made some T-bolts from some threaded rod and flat bar, and then I can now slide the bracket on and tighten down some nuts to hold it in place. And I think this is a great place to drop my calipers or drill bits, or whatever I might be needing for the project that I'm working on at the mill. It'll keep it ready at hand, but kind of out of the way. I got to attend ArnFest 2022 this year. It's been held annually at the Illinois Railway Museum for the past 18 years. The only year that they missed was 2020 due to COVID. ArnFest is a gathering of men and women from all over the country that are just fans of old woodworking machines and old metalworking machines. It's quite fun. You get to meet a lot of interesting people that have varying interest in these tools, and part of the weekend is taking an old tool like this 8-inch Delta jointer and tearing it down, cleaning up, refurbishing it. And then the tool is auctioned off at the banquet on Saturday evening, and all the proceeds go to some nonprofit organizations, including the Railway Museum. I got a chance to walk around the museum and check out some of the equipment in the machine shops. They've got some really big lathes, horizontal boring mills, vertical turret lathes, couple of shapers that look like they're in active service, as well as a smaller section of the machine shop that even has a couple of South Bends and an Atlas shaper. Saturday morning was extremely foggy, but that didn't deter any of the folks who wanted to attend the swap meet. There was quite a few pieces to find there, and I was lucky enough to snag some stuff that I needed. One of the highlights for the weekend was being able to meet Lyle Peterson, otherwise known as Mr. Pete, your YouTube shop teacher. Also in attendance was Keith Rucker from Vintage Machinery. Keith is one of the originators of the ArnFest and has been at every single one. I also got to hang out for the weekend with Doug from Metalworks Machine Shop. One of the things that I found at the ArnFest swap meet was this collection of 5C collets. I bought these from Mr. Pete. He had these on his table. Most of them are new old stock. There's some that are used, and I know I have some duplicates, so I'll be going through these, finding the duplicates and probably putting those up for sale, and then trying to fill in the sizes I don't have. I have had this Craftsman drill press on my list of projects to rebuild and refurbish for quite a while. One of the pieces it's missing is the top cover. One of the ArnFest attendees had brought this Mohawk top with him and had listed it for free, so it was exactly the right price and exactly what I needed. The banquet is held on Saturday night of ArnFest, and part of that is a silent auction. And I put a bid on this Delta bandsaw and brought it home with me. I'm hoping I'm actually going to convert this to be a metal cutting bandsaw. Well, my obsession with auctions hasn't slowed down a bit, although maybe it should. My most recent purchase is this collection of 1 to 2 inch micrometers along with some micrometer standards. This Starrett micrometer is one I hadn't seen before. The anvil on it is domed. But what I really wanted out of this particular lot was actually this set of standards. I don't have a set yet, and I needed something really to calibrate my micrometers and then adjust them if they need to be. Well, this is an interesting story. A family member of mine was interning over the summer at a local power plant. He was in the maintenance area and came across a garbage can that had a stack of wooden boxes sticking out of it. I think he recognized what they might have been and went into the garbage can and pulled a few of them out to investigate. And sure enough, there were 7 sets of this 0 to 12-inch depth micrometer from Mitutoyo. They had been sitting for probably decades completely unused. The foam on the inside of the cover was completely deteriorated, and there is some rust on some of these pins. But after just a little bit of a wipe down with some WD-40, these things are in perfect condition. I need to get some gauge blocks still so I can calibrate them, calibrate each of the pins, but I mean this is awesome find. Another auction find were these 3 Toolmakers vices. They all seem to be shop made. I don't believe any of these are commercially made. I swung an indicator on a surface plate across this one on the left, and the surfaces didn't vary any more than about 1/2 of a thousandth. I only really wanted the one on the left, but these all 3 were in the same lot. I might go ahead and put one of the other small ones up for sale somewhere. After finishing the rebuild of the steady rest, I happened to see on eBay someone selling a set of jaws with roller bearings in them. I wanted a fairly okay price for them, so I went ahead and bought them. I'm going to go ahead and switch these brass jaws out for these roller bearing ones. I think they'll serve me better. I had been looking for a while to replace my little tiny Harbor Freight 4-inch belt sander with something a little bit bigger and more power. I found this 6-inch by 48-inch belt disc sander at an auction, and it's essentially the larger version of the Harbor Freight one. I think this import was probably sold under a number of different labels. And I think every single one of these 6x48s I've seen for sale on Facebook or Craigslist, the stop or the fence here was missing, as was this one. So I went ahead and used some flat bar and the Bridgeport and TIG welded up a fence for it. One of these days I'd like to build a 2x72, but I think that project is going to be pushed back a little bit further because I think this one right here is going to do me fine for the foreseeable future. A member on the Practical Machinist forums is downsizing, I think, his tool collection and had these V-blocks and machinist jacks up for sale. So I gave him a few bucks for him and he shipped them to me. I didn't have any machinist jacks, and I don't have any V-blocks that have the clamp, so I've been looking for a set of these for a little while now. Well, I think that's about it for this shop update. I've got to do some more cleanup around the shop and sort through some of this scrap metal that Doug from Metalworks Machine Shop gave me while we were in Illinois for ArnFest. I appreciate you watching, and if you're not a subscriber, I would hope you would consider hitting that subscribe button. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.